everyone, I'm one of the co-founders at LZero, and I'm going to show you how you can deploy your first contract into your own Coreum Testnet. So when you sign up to the LZero platform, you get a free Coreum Testnet for 7 days. So let's go ahead and create an account. So I'm just going to put in my email address and a password. Sign up. So the next thing then, we just have to verify my email address. It's going to give it a second to get the email. There we go. So just put in the verification code. Yeah. And then the next thing is just quickly filling out a little bit about myself. And that's it already. So now my account is created. You can see I have a Coreum Testnet immediately available here, and we're on this 7-day trial, so this will be completely free. When we go into the network, we can see some of the configuration, and then down here is where we can use the pre-generated addresses, or we can of course use our own address and then use the faucet, which is an unlimited faucet to actually get some tokens. Let's give it a second. This is just loading here the services, but once that's loaded, we'll be able to also see, for example, the block explorer that we can use here. There's another dashboard, or we can interact with the node in the network. So we, for example, have the RPC port available here. We can copy that, or we can even click on the node here and have direct terminal access to the node itself. So let's deploy a contract into this network. So for simplicity, we can actually go to the Coreum docs here and go down here and actually use this tool here to easily get a contract. So for example, let's go with an NFT. So let's create a new NFT on our network. So we can see the contract code here. We can compile this, but obviously you could do these steps also locally on your machine. If you had a contract, what you need to do is compile it first, which will then give you this file here, which is the compiled contract. So let's go into a terminal now. I'll have this platform open here, but the first thing we need to do actually is get the RPC for the node and also the chain ID. So the chain ID we can see here, it's Coreum Testnet 1, and then the RPC, as I said, we can copy from here. So the first command I'm going to run here is just exporting two variables. So the first one, we have to put in the RPC for the node. One extra thing we have to do is actually add the port, so 443 for HTTPS, and then the chain ID, as I said, will be Coreum Testnet 1. So this has now set these variables, so we can also print them and just make sure that we actually have them. There we go. So this actually just prints out this URL now. So the next thing we need to do is we need to import our address. So if you have your own one and use the faucet, then that's all good. But I'm going to use the pre-generated one here. So I'm going to copy the mnemonic. And then what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to run this command here to add my wallet to my local machine here. So it's then going to ask me for my mnemonic. So I'm going to put in my mnemonic here. So that means now my address, you can see the address here as well, which will correspond to the one here, is now added to my local machine. So the next thing now that we're going to do is actually upload the smart contract to the Coreum Testnet. So we do that with this command, which will store this contract that I just downloaded in our network. So I'll take a couple of seconds, and we can see that's done now. We can see it has the code ID 1 because it's the first contract we've deployed, and that is running now. Now, the last thing we need to do is actually instantiate the contract. So for that, we need to give it a couple of information. So we need to tell it actually what NFT we want to create. So for this, we're going to create an NFT that just has this simple name, simple description, and nothing really else. So this is just setting again a variable. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually instantiate that using this command, using the code ID 1, and this will now instantiate it in the network. I think there was an issue. Payment message invalid. I think you need to run slightly different. I used the wrong variable here. There should be init, but I think otherwise that should be good. There we go. So now this contract is instantiated, so we can also see the transaction. So what we could do now is we could go into the Block Explorer and actually look at this deployed transaction. So we can go here into search for this, and we can see here, this is our contract that was instantiated with this data, just an NFT that's called your NFT name and with this symbol. And that's how easy that is. So obviously we can do this for other contracts by just storing them and then instantiating them, and we can obviously use our own Block Explorer here to then see whether these contracts have been deployed. Thank you very much.